It's Wednesday, September 3rd. In the headlines, Jamaicans go to the polls for general election 2025. Regionally, an update on Guyana's general election results. In sports, Shelly-Ann Fraser-Pryce to retire after Tokyo World Championships. This is the news on PBC Jamaica. I'm Simone Absalom Gale. Jamaicans are being reminded of their fundamental right to vote, enshrined in the Representation of the People Act 1944. Voting in a government election is a key element of democratic participation and a constitutional right of all eligible citizens. Under Jamaica's electoral framework, general or parliamentary elections are held every 5 years. The country is divided into 63 constituencies, each electing one member of parliament to represent them in the House of Representatives. By-elections in 4 local government divisions in the Kingston and St. Andrew Municipal Corporation is also being held on September 3. These divisions are Chancery Hall, Olympic Gardens, Seavright Gardens, and Denham Town. To facilitate voter participations, the law allows employees up to 3 hours off from work during the workday to cast their vote, in addition to their regular lunch hour. However, this provision does not apply to employees who begin work at or after 10 a.m., or those who finish work at or before 2 p.m. on Election Day. Today, September 3, thousands of Jamaicans get to choose who they would like to represent them in Parliament for the next 5 years. Public Relations and Communication Manager at the Electoral Commission of Jamaica, Dania Harper, was a guest on PBCJ's White Matters, and she shared details about what voters can expect at polling stations and what will happen after the polls are closed. Denita Rodney tells us more.
More than 7,000 polling stations were prepared to facilitate voting. We asked Public Relations and the Communication Manager at the Electoral Commission of Jamaica, Dania Harper, what each voter should expect once they get to the polling station and make their votes in secret. She says you should fold and return your ballot paper to the presiding officer.
There is something on the ballot paper called a counterfoil. Now, the counterfoil is the only thing that can trace that ballot paper to you, the voter, right? So at that point, the presiding officer is going to remove that and destroy it so that there is nothing on that paper that can tell us who it belongs to, right? Then the presiding officer is going to ask you to immerse your right index finger into the electoral ink. So once your finger goes in that ink, it means then that you have voted. Once that is through, you simply watch the presiding officer depositing your ballot paper in the box. Once your ballot goes in the box, it means you have voted, and then you may leave the polling station.
So I have the right to watch my ballot go into the box?
Oh, definitely. You should watch to ensure that your ballot actually goes into that ballot box.
She says preparations are in place for persons who make a mistake on the ballot.
If it is that you have made a mistake on your ballot paper, once you're behind the voting booth, you simply refold your ballot paper, take it back to the presiding officer, and let the presiding officer know that you have made a mistake and you will receive another one. So the ballot that you got, that you made a mistake on, that is what we call a spoiled ballot, simply because, you spoiled it, right? So that one will not go into the ballot box. It will go into a special envelope for spoiled ballots, and you will receive another one that you can go behind the voting booth and make the correction.
After the polls are closed, the tedious process of counting each ballot begins.
So at 5 o'clock, when the polls have closed, then we'll bring in the counting process. So the presiding officer will open the ballot box and count the votes one by one and allocate them to the candidates. And also, if there are votes or ballots that are rejected, they will also make a note of the ones that cannot be counted for a candidate. So that's what takes place once the polls have closed.
Usually, after a preliminary count on election day, a final count is done the following day by the returning officer and his or her assistant and a representative of each candidate. Reporting for the news on PBCJ, I am Denita Rodney.
The People's National Party has put forward 63 candidates to contest the general elections. Leading the charge for the People's National Party is Mark Golding, the party's president and official candidate for Prime Minister. A seasoned politician, businessman and attorney, Mr. Golding has represented the constituency of St. Andrews Southern since 2017 and previously served as Minister of Justice. His seat is being contested by the Jamaica Labour Party's Carlton Allen. Our reporter Brittany Walker spoke to some of the constituents as they went to cast their vote.
It's a relaxed atmosphere here in the St. Andrews Southern constituency. We're already seeing voters out in their numbers at the polling stations. We're about to see People's National Party candidate Mark Golding.
Don't take your right to vote lightly. Don't be complacent about it. Democracy is fragile and it requires all of us as citizens to play our part. So I appeal to you, come out and vote and cast your X by the party of your choice, the candidate of your choice.
We also paid a visit to Kingston Central, where the Jamaica Labour Party, Donovan Williams, wants another term, and the People's National Party, Steve McGregor, is seeking to get the job.
Let me vote already.
Yeah.
Long time, long time.
So have you voted as yet?
Yes, we vote already. Yeah.
How was the process? How was everything?
Boy, everything I got smooth in a moment.
Well, so good. I wake up and thank God for everything. You see how the place look this morning. I'm proud because the last two elections, the place never looked like this.
My name is Brittany Walker and I am reporting for PBCJ News.
Jamaica's current Prime Minister and leader of the Jamaica Labour Party, Dr. Andrew Holness, is seeking a renewed mandate from the people. Dr. Holness, who has led the country since 2016, is campaigning on a platform of continued economic growth, infrastructure development, and national security. His seat is being contested by the People's National Party's Paul Buchanan. We visited the constituency of St. Andrew West Central to get an understanding of what was happening at a few of the polling stations. The St. Andrew West Central constituents were in good spirits as they waited for their turn to make their mark on the ballot.
What's it looking like, sir, at this point in time on voting day?
Well, early, but we have a good amount of people turn out already, and we are expecting to have a big turnout for the day.
You don't know enough people, just come out early, you know, and come down the thing, you know, can lock the polling station from 3 o'clock, you know. At 1 p.m., you know, East Jamaica set, you know. You don't know, you know, Andrew is doing good, you know. Good for the country, you know, good for the youth, them, you know. Cut down crime, you know, and tell people, say people can't sleep in the window, want me, you know.
Paul Buchanan, because we want a change. Too much corruption are going on in our country, and we need a change in our country. Time come.
I'm voting because, as they rightfully say, time come. I don't care too much for either parties. I'm a Jamaican first and foremost. So whichever party is in power, if you're not performing, you are out.
We also paid a visit to a polling station in the St. Andrew East Central constituency, where the JLP's Davian Vassell and PMP's Dennis Gordon have placed their hat in the race.
Yeah, they must vote and vote for the right thing. Because the country is going good now, so you need to put the X beside the right place.
Today is election day. The ballot boxes are ready, but many Jamaicans remain undecided whether their vote is worth casting. Let's find out what people say.
The reason why I not vote, I'm going to tell you why I not vote. Just for me live a dieted. So the MP now do nothing, because they get the seat too easy. Simple. And you see, under the taxi world, taxi me drive. Every politician come in, come pressure taxi. So if you don't come show us something, we not vote for none of them.
They're no longer interested in politics, where politics refers to what is going on in our country, how best it can enable us to get better access to things, resources that we need. So I think what needs to be done is the youths that don't know why they have to vote should be educated to tell them that it's not about gang violence or political affiliation. It's about the stuff that the country needs.
No unity, separation and bloodshed. So that no work for me. Me's a straight man and I praise Jah Almighty only. Vain is the help of man, and them walk on vain road. So no need for both me I go mark no ex.
Most like people must sell them vote. Them say them not get none from politicians. That's why they don't want to vote. But me vote still.
From grassroots organizers to first-time contenders stepping out of the private sector, these individuals are challenging the status quo and bringing new ideas and new energy to the ballot. Let's take a look at two of these candidates.
I'm Stacey Knight, attorney at law, educator, mother of two. I am the People's National Party's candidate for St. Andrew Northeastern. This is the constituency where I have lived for all my life. It includes the Barbican and the Waterloo divisions. I decided to enter representational politics because I've lived here and I've seen for the past 28 years the lack of representation for the people of this constituency. I'm not looking for an easy path to Gordon House. I'm looking to become the people's representative, to deliver solutions, to serve the people of this great constituency. When I'm elected Member of Parliament of this constituency, St. Andrew Northeast, one of the first things I'm going to do is to upgrade infrastructure. And I'm talking about infrastructure. This is a road. This is people's pathway to home. It's not paved and hasn't been addressed for a very long time. Also to upgrade the housing stock. People live in homes that are not befitting 21st century, Upper St. Andrew 2025. And it's not that these aren't hardworking people. It's just that the economy doesn't really afford them the opportunity to upgrade their homes for themselves without the assistance of the state. When I become Member of Parliament, everybody will get. So all the green people out there, don't worry. When I'm your MP, I will indeed be your MP. I'm going to be the MP for all of St. Andrew Northeastern. My main way to address crime is really to engage people more. You know, they say the devil finds work for idle hands. And if we have more occupied hands in gainful employment, there will be less crime. It's time for responsibility. Representatives who listen to the concerns of the people and respond appropriately. It's time for integrity. Parliamentarians who aren't afraid to report their assets and the assets of their spouses to the Integrity Commission. It's time for governance. For representatives who don't use basic rights like water, electricity, and roads as bargaining chips to look for votes. It's time for harmony, encouraging dialogue among citizens so that development is sustainable. Harmony, not harm. It's time for transparency. Do you know how your constituency development fund was spent? If you don't, then it's not transparent. Those letters spell right. And I'm here to tell you that it's right with Knight. St. Andrew Northeastern, vote Stacey Knight. Jamaica, time come for a better life.
young people need to stay back and develop their country, and that's the reason why I'm here. I have a private practice that I run, so I'm not here for money. I'm here because I believe I can make the difference. When we look around, we don't see that maintenance has been done on the road network, which has caused it to deteriorate significantly. Unfortunately, the constituents suffer as a result of that. Now, as it relates to employment, I realize that there's a lack of employment. A lot of the younger people are not employed, and I believe that's as a result of them not being trained in order to get the employment that they need. And this is where the second phase will come in, because I believe that we will have art come in and we will have some of these persons properly trained, because with training comes better employment, and that's one of the next things. The third thing is that we believe that if you look around, there's not even one homework center here. There's not a community center at all for recreation. That needs to change, because when young people are not occupied, they find themselves otherwise engaged in crime and other illegal activities. So those are the three main things that need to be addressed when I take over. Well, if it's a case where people believe that the only way they can resolve their issues is to turn to crime and violence, then that would be a solution for them. So we let them know that we have restorative justice, and we also have mediation, whereby persons can try to resolve their differences through vehicles provided by the state. So that's another aspect. In addition to that, once the community members are united, any individual who steps out of line and turns to a life of crime would be exposed. So it takes the community to expose crime and eradicate crime. So those are the two means by which I believe that crime can be curtailed. That's where checks and balances come in. We want to ensure that whatever dollar, every single dollar that is spent in this constituency is accounted for. And that's why we believe in having audits done to ensure that whatever we said that we were going to do, that the money was used for that specific purpose and nothing else. People in East Central St. Andrew should vote Davian Vassell, because Davian Vassell is a natural problem solver. I'm a lawyer going on 11 years, and solving problems is what I do. I believe that if persons come to me, that I am better poised to solve their problems. In addition to that, for those who follow me on social media, know that this lawyer has sense, and they'll realize that with Vassell, there is no hassle. Vote Davian Vassell for East Central St. Andrew Member of Parliament.
Time now for the Business Report with Denise Williams.
Welcome to today's Business Report. I'm Denise Williams, here to bring you the stories shaping the financial world and guiding your journey to smarter business decisions. Let's dive into the top headlines. As the nation readies for its general election today, JLP leader Dr. Andrew Holness says his government will double the national minimum wage from $16,000 to $32,000 on a phased basis. President of the Jamaica Chamber of Commerce, Catherine Silvera, says the cost of labor remains one of the biggest costs for manufacturers, a sector that currently employs nearly 100,000 workers. She warns that a 100% increase in the minimum wage would negatively affect their operations, while asserting that manufacturers are the backbone of the Jamaican economy. According to Ms. Silvera, companies would be forced to raise prices, further driving up the cost of living. She adds that without strategies to boost productivity, the move intended to help workers could backfire, ultimately hurting both businesses and employees. The Bustamante Industrial Trade Union, BITU, told RJR News that it commends the Jamaica Labour Party for its indication that it will commit to a system of increasing the national minimum wage over the next 5 years if it secures a third term in office. Meanwhile, General Secretary of the Union of Clerical, Administrative and Supervisory Employees, UCASE, John Levy, told RJR News that he is not opposed to a gradual increase in the minimum national wage, but is calling for consultation to avoid a negative impact on inflation. President of the Jamaica Employers Federation, Wayne Chen, said the JLP's proposal for the national minimum wage should not have come as a surprise, as there has been a consistent pattern of increase over the last few years. But he reiterated that the movement has to be tied to productivity. For the trading period ending September 2, 2025, these were the most actively traded stocks. Toll road operator Trans-Jamaica Highway Limited, US dollar shares with 7,220,966 units traded, representing 33.30% of market sales volume. Toll road operator Trans-Jamaica Highway Limited Jamaican dollar shares with 3,595,066 units traded, representing 16.58% of market sales volume. Alternative energy provider Wigton Energy Limited with 2,544,234 units traded, representing 11.73% of market sales volume. We now shift our focus to the Forex market rate set by the Bank of Jamaica. On September 2, 2025, the Bank of Jamaica reported US $61.74 million purchased and US $57.75 million sold by Forex traders. Forex traders earned $1.78 per dollar, selling the US at $161.02 and buying the US at $159.24. The Canadian dollar netted Forex traders 52 cents per transaction, with selling at $116.48 and buying at $115.96. The British pound yielded Forex traders $10.33 in profits, with selling at $191.10 and buying at $180.77. And that wraps up today's business report. I'm Denise Williams, reminding you that every financial decision is a step toward your future. Until next time, stay focused, stay informed, and keep striving for success. See you soon.
In regional news, Guyana's President Dr. Irfan Ali says he expects voting trends from Monday's general and regional elections to become clear as ballot counting continues. More than 757,000 people were eligible to vote. 6 political parties contested, with 6 candidates vying for the presidency, including the incumbent President Ali of the ruling People's Progressive Party, Civic, and opposition leader Aubrey Norton of a Partnership for National Unity. The Guyana Elections Commission, GCOM, is posting statements of poll online, but says only official results, expected Thursday, should be trusted. It has also warned against fake results. Both major parties admit turnout was low but remain confident of victory. The Ethnic Relations Commission has described the process as free and fair and is urging calm as counting continues. The country now awaits GCOM's official declaration later this week.
Voters across Guyana turned out for elections many here say could decide the country's future.
I'm looking forward for the best for Guyana.
Since massive offshore oil discoveries, Guyana has become one of the fastest growing economies in the world. Under incumbent President Irfan Ali, the oil boom has already started to reshape the landscape, with new roads, bridges and hospitals being built. Many expect him to secure another term. He presents himself as a steady hand to manage the boom, and his party has traditionally drawn support from the Indo-Guyanese community, the country's largest ethnic group.
Very confident about the victory. You saw the campaign we ran, the numbers speak for themselves. But as I said, sealing the victory is important, and that requires all our supporters to come out and ensure that they seal the victory with their vote.
But many voters say the oil wealth has yet to ease the rising cost of living and distrust the government's ability to share it fairly.
So we need 100% changes in our country. So we're voting for a change.
Ali's main challenger is opposition leader Aubrey Norton, whose support comes largely from the Afro-Guyanese community. He accuses the government of corruption and mismanaging revenues. But the wild card in the race is gold mining businessman Azruddin Mohammed. Despite US sanctions against him and his father for alleged fraud and bribery, his new party has gained traction with younger voters through a savvy online campaign.
Very confident because we have support in all the communities, in the Indian communities, in the African communities, and the indigenous communities in all 10 regions. So I am very confident that we will win these elections with a majority too.
Neighboring Venezuela claims Guyana's oil-rich Essequibo region. Over the weekend, security forces reported a boat carrying election officials came under fire from across the border. But for most Guyanese, the choice is about who can fairly share the new oil riches, while much of the country still struggles with poverty. Alessandro Rampietti, Al Jazeera.
In sports, we begin with athletics. Jamaican sprinting legend Shelly-Ann Fraser-Pryce has announced that this month's World Championships in Tokyo will be her final appearance on the track. The 38-year-old, three-time Olympic and 10-time world champion, says she plans to retire after competing in the women's 100 meters. Fraser-Pryce, affectionately known as Pocket Rocket, decided to bow out following last year's Paris Olympics, where an injury forced her to withdraw from the 100 meters final. Despite limited racing this season, she secured her spot at her 9th World Championships by finishing 3rd at the Jamaican trials. She's quoted saying, "I didn't get the opportunity to do what I know I could have done in that moment, and it was hurtful. It was the first time in my career I couldn't step to the line to compete." The Tokyo Championships mark a full-circle moment for Fraser-Pryce, who made her World Championship debut in Osaka in 2007 as a reserve for the 4x100 meters relay. Reflecting on her career, she says it's been remarkable to grow from an unsure young athlete to a confident champion, mother, and role model. Shelly-Ann Fraser-Pryce will run in the 100 meters in Tokyo this month, bringing down the curtain on a stellar career that has inspired generations of sprinters. And that's the news on PBCJ. You can follow us on our social media platforms at PBCJamaica. Thanks for watching.